The Nashville school shooting incident, Audrey Hale's reign of terror. Today, it seems like mass shootings keep happening, and there's no end in sight. Just recently, we heard about yet another one where innocent kids and adults were killed. In today's video, we will be diving deeper into the tragic incident that occurred at a private grade school in Nashville on March 27, 2023, killing 6 people, including 3 children. It's a scary world out there, with so many guns around, and it begs the question, when are we going to finally ban them? Welcome to AF Crime, the channel that brings you fascinating crimes all around the world. If you're interested in this kind of content, then this channel is for you. Make sure to like this video, click on the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to keep you updated on our recent uploads. Now, let's jump straight into our investigation of the heartbreaking mass shooting that occurred in Nashville. It was supposed to be a beautiful Monday morning at the Covenant School, a private Christian grade school that provides education to young children aged 3 to 12. But instead, it turned into a tragedy that would haunt the community for years to come. A 28-year-old shooter entered the school and opened fire, claiming the lives of 6 innocent people. Among the victims were 3 bright 9-year-old students, Evelyn Dickenhouse, Haley Shrugs, and William Kinney. The head of the school, a respected 60-year-old educator, Catherine Kuntz, was also taken too soon, along with Cynthia Peak, a substitute teacher who was loved by many, and Mike Hill, a custodian who dedicated his life to keeping the school clean and safe. At about 9:30 a.m., the shooter allegedly left home with a red bag. While driving a Honda Fit, the shooter arrives at the school driving around the parking lot, going out of frame and parking her car at about 9:55 a.m. In a heartbreaking revelation, Ms. Patton, a former schoolmate of the shooter, shared that she received chilling messages from the suspect just minutes before the tragic shooting began. Though Ms. Patton had little contact with the shooter after school, the shooter sent her messages on Instagram at 9:57 a.m. that day, warning her that something bad is about to happen and that she would soon read about it on the news of what she was about to commit. In the messages, the shooter also mentioned leaving behind evidence and expressed that one day it would all make sense. Concerned for her friend's well-being, Ms. Patton tried to get her help by calling a suicide prevention helpline, but it was too late. Later, Ms. Patton learned of the devastating events that unfolded. The fact that the shooter reached out to her in those final minutes was surprising, as they did not know each other in adulthood. At exactly 10:10 a.m. on that fateful day, the shooter approached the side entrance of the private Christian school with deadly intent. With a chilling lack of hesitation, she opened fire through the glass doors, shattering them to pieces. In a matter of seconds, she was inside wielding 2 AR-style rifles and a handgun as she unleashed a torrent of bullets. The horror and chaos were overwhelming as the community was plunged into darkness and despair. 17 minutes later, a team of officers finally encountered the shooter on the second-floor atrium. Police reports indicated that the shooter had been firing through a window at arriving officers, unleashing a barrage of bullets that left them pinned down and unable to respond. It was there that officers Engelbert and Michael Colazzo finally managed to take down the shooter, ending her reign of terror. The scene was one of utter devastation as the full impact of the tragedy was laid bare for all to see. The shooter died at 10:27 a.m. The tragic truth was revealed as the investigation unfolded. The shooter was identified as Audrey Hale, a transgender individual who had once been a student at the very same school. Despite thorough interviews with her parents and school officials, the detectives couldn't find any solid explanation for the motive behind the horrific act. She sometimes went by the name Aiden and often used he, him pronouns. Although there were no signs of any issues or problems that Hale faced while studying there, it was already evident in the early stages of the investigation that she deliberately targeted the elementary school. According to police, Hale's alleged victims were randomly selected and that the school and church building itself is her target. Prior to the attack, Hale had purchased 7 firearms from different gun stores. 3 of those firearms were ultimately used during the assault. Hale's parents initially thought that she had only 1 gun and sold it. It was reported that there was extreme tension in the home about Hale's gender identity. It was said that Audrey's parents, Norma and Ronald, refused to allow Hale to use he/him pronouns due to their religious beliefs. At the time of the incident, she was being under the doctor's care for emotional disorder. It was believed that Hale was experiencing severe depression and that her attempt to carry out a mass shooting at the school was a form of suicide. As a result of her attack, she was ultimately killed by the police officers. The quick response from Nashville officers is being compared to a lengthy response by Texas officers at the Uvalde school shooting. In May of the previous year, an 18-year-old gunman had attacked Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, resulting in deaths of 21 individuals and injuries to 18 more. The response time of the first responders during that incident was widely criticized, with many expressing shock and outrage that it took an hour for them to enter the school. In contrast, the quick response of the Nashville officers was hailed as heroic and life-saving. While the quick and heroic response of the Nashville officers saved many lives, the grief and sorrow of the community were no less devastating. Despite their best efforts, 6 innocent souls were unable to survive the brutal attack, leaving their families and loved ones reeling from the pain and shock of their loss. In a heartbreaking update, Nashville Police Chief John Drake revealed that the shooter, Audrey Hale, had planned to launch attacks on other targets, including a local mall and her own family members. The police strongly believe that Hale had intended to carry out these attacks, but thankfully they were prevented from happening. The Covenant School, where the tragic shooting occurred, was chosen as a target because it had a lower level of security compared to other locations, and there was no school resource officer present. On the other hand, Hale's former classmate named Samira Hardcastle has spoken about the devastating impact that the sudden death of Sidney Sims had on Audrey Hale. Sims, who was just 27 years old and a former basketball teammate of Hale's, was tragically killed in a head-on car crash in Nashville last August, along with another woman. The pain and grief of losing her friend in such a sudden and tragic manner seemed to have a profound effect on the suspect. In the days and weeks following the death of Sims, the shooter began to exhibit increasingly erratic and disturbing behavior. She told the New York Post that Hale was posting about Sims' death on social media almost every day. After Sidney's tragic death, Audrey was really heartbroken over it. I just feel like she took it differently than some of us did. She was still posting about Sidney almost daily. What I knew of her was more admiring, maybe even infatuation. That's specifically who she really looked up to, she said. On the other hand, the people of Nashville gathered for a vigil on March 29th to mourn the loss of 3 young children and 3 adults who were killed. The community came together to honor the victims, offering prayers and share in a collective sorrow. Among the attendees was First Lady Jill Biden. Singer-songwriter Sheryl Crow performed her song, "I Shall Believe," as a tribute to the grieving crowd. Mayor John Cooper addressed the crowd saying, "Just 2 days ago was our worst day. Our heart is broken. Our city united as we mourn together." And he asked everyone to join hands in solidarity. Let us take a moment to reflect on the lives of the victims who met an undeserving and tragic death. The Covenant School's head, Catherine Kuntz, tragically lost her life in the shooting. Her family released a statement to ABC News, describing her as a loving and dedicated person. They said that she was devoted to her family, friends, and the children she cared at the school. Cynthia Peak, a substitute teacher at Covenant School, was also among the victims of the shooting. Her family expressed their heartbreak over her loss, describing her as a pillar of the community and the beloved teacher to all her students. Mike Hill was a staff member at the Covenant School. His family described him as someone who enjoyed cooking and spending time with his loved ones. In a statement to ABC News, Hill's family expressed their gratitude for the community's thoughts and prayers during the difficult time. They also expressed their appreciation for the love and support that the Covenant School community showed towards Hill during his 14 years of service. Haley Scruggs was also one of the victims in the shootings. Haley was a third grader at the Covenant School and friend with Evelyn Dickenhouse, another victim of the tragedy. They were described as a precious gift by their families. Father of Haley, who was a senior pastor at the Covenant Presbyterian Church, says that through their tears, they trust Haley is now in the loving arms of Jesus. The Kinney family had a son named William, who was also one of the victims. According to friends of the family who shared their thoughts on the family's GoFundMe page, William had an unwavering spirit that inspired those around him. In the wake of this tragedy, let us not forget the importance of kindness in a world filled with darkness. It is essential to consider implementing stricter gun laws and finding ways to cope with mental illness so that we can prevent similar incidents from occurring again. If you support stricter gun laws, please show your support by liking this video and sharing your thoughts in the comments section to raise awareness. AF Crime strives to bring you more such cases, so if you are interested, do subscribe to our channel where we bring you multiple videos per week. And don't forget to click on the bell icon to receive notification whenever we publish a new video. Till the next time, and thanks for watching.